Today we're talking about the AFC South, specifically how the rookies taken in this year's NFL Draft will affect their depth charts. Because when it comes to fantasy football, there are winners and there are losers. We'll predict where those rookies fit in this year and their potential for the future. Welcome to Shut Up Football. I'm Jeff Stoltzfus, that's Kevin, and whether you're a hardcore dynasty lover like myself or a filthy casual like Kevin, join us as we surf the contaminated waters that are the AFC South. Houston Texans.
Yeehaw, bitches!
Last year, the Texans swung big in the draft and nailed it. This year, they simply let the draft come to them. Winners, all starters. Incoming draft class, no threats detected. Losers, depth wide receivers. The Texans traded for Stefon Diggs prior to the draft and, for some reason, Ben Skowronek after it, leaving most of the backup wide receivers stuffed even further down in between the couch cushions. In the second round, they took Kamari Lassiter, cornerback, Georgia. He's 6 foot, 186 pounds. In college, he had 86 tackles and 1 interception. He's 21 years old, instinctual on the field, plays tough, but doesn't possess elite speed. The depth chart is Derek Stingley Jr., Jeff Okudah, and Miles Bryant. Stingley is only 24 years old. He has 2 years left on his rookie deal, and they love him like peanut butter. Jeff Okudah is 25, he's got 1 more year left on his deal, and Miles Bryant is 26 with 1 more year on his deal. I expect Lassiter to be on the field day 1 as a rookie. He can contribute immediately as the nickel corner here. Now, both Jeff Okudah and Miles Bryant are on 1-year deals, but I see no evidence to expect that he's going to take Jeff Okudah's spot. I think we've got a really good player here, a great pickup for the Texans. However, if he's only the nickelback here, I'm probably only putting him on my watch list. In the third round, they took Calen Bullock, safety, USC. He's got 4.48 speed. He had 151 tackles and 9 interceptions over 3 years at college. He's 21 years old. The safety depth chart is Jimmy Ward, who's 32 years old, Jalen Petrie, he's 24, and MJ Stewart, who's 28 years old. I also think that Bullock could see the field this year as a rookie. Now, he'll be playing behind other people, but both Ward and Stewart are free agents after this year, so he could be the likely starter next year, and I think he's a worthwhile investment for the future. Now, I should probably take a second and say that some assumptions were made here, that Lassiter would be a nickel and that Bullock would be a free safety. The truth is, both were drafted as defensive backs because of their versatility. But to be clear, I think they're both extremely good players and should be on your radar. In the fourth round, they took Cade Stover, tight end, Ohio State. He's 6'4", 247 pounds, very athletic, good metrics all around. He had over 1,000 yards and 10 touchdowns over 3 years in college. That's some production, but nothing that really blows the roof off your doors. However, I do like his film. He was one of my pre-draft favorites. He's got good receiving skills, good after the catch, breaks tackles. The Texans traded up in the 4th to get him, so that's some investment. What's not so great is he's not a great blocker, and I'm not a big fan of his landing spot. Now let me show you why. This depth chart is Dalton Schultz, Tegan Quitoriano, and Brevin Jordan. Schultz is 27 years old, he's got a 3-year deal with an out after 2. Quitoriano's 24, Brevin Jordan is 23 years old, he's on the last year of his deal and likely gone after this year. Cade Stover's gonna slide in as the number 2 tight end immediately here, but I don't think he's any kind of threat to Dalton Schultz anytime soon. Schultz is due some real money in the next 2 years. Now, in his 3rd year, he's due $14 million, but if they cut him, it would be dead cap money of only 2.5, so conceivably, Cade Stover could be the number 1 tight end here in 2026. Cade Stover's ADP is about 49th overall, which seemed a little low to me, but that's how it went in my most recent dynasty draft. Most of the tight ends in this area are 1 to 2 years away from relevance anyway, but I don't like a lot of other positions around it. If you have the patience, pull the trigger on Cade Stover when he falls to you. Jacksonville Jaguars. That is adorable. They got a little kicker. See? Right there in the 6th. Winners. Trevor Lawrence. They gave him one of the tallest, fastest receivers with a huge catch radius. If he can't make this work, it's time to revoke his conditioner privileges. Losers. Parker Washington and Devin Duvernay for getting jumped on the depth chart in 2 spots. In the first round, they took Brian Thomas Jr., wide receiver out of LSU. He's 21 years old, 6'3", 209 pounds, runs a 4.33. In college, he had over 1,800 yards and 24 touchdowns. He's got the draft capital. He'll be involved early. He gets good separation. He's tall, he's fast, he's got a huge catch radius. He's like DJ Chark, without the disappointment. The depth chart here is Christian Kirk, Gabe Davis, Parker Washington, Tim Jones, and Devin Duvernay. Based on the contracts at hand, Kirk and Davis are locked up until at least 2025. Washington is 22 years old. He's a 6th-round pick from last year. I liked Parker Washington coming out. I don't think he's dead, but he's definitely back on the shelf. Thomas has a great opportunity here. He could be the difference maker for Trevor Lawrence. Thomas's ADP is about 7th overall right now, near Xavier Worthy and Ladd McConkey. In the 2nd round, they took Maason Smith, defensive tackle out of LSU. What a pick! Dougie P likes it, Mustache Khan likes it, even Neckbrace Tony likes it. Maason Smith is 21 years old. He's 6'5", 306 pounds. He's got decent metrics for a big man. In college, he had 47 tackles, 6.5 sacks. He's been comped to Christian Barmore, which might be true, I don't fucking know. But his arms are 2 inches longer. He looks a little slow on film. The depth chart here is Eric Armstead, Roy Robertson Harris, and Adam Gotsis. Gotsis, you knows. Armstead is 30 years old. He's signed through 2026. He does have an out after 2025 though, but it would be $19 million to keep him or $17 to cut him. Robertson Harris is 30, Gotsis is 31, he's on a 1-year deal. The Jags are clearly trying to reload the line with youth. Both starters are on the wrong side of 30. Based on the contracts of the existing starters here, it doesn't look like they need him to play right away. So for now, he's just depth and rotational play. I do think he'll be a starter here in the future, but barring injuries, that could be 1 to 2 years away. So until he is, I'm not interested. I'll spend my IDP dollars someplace else. But I will keep him on my watch list. In the 5th round, they took Keilan Robinson, running back out of Texas. He's 5'8", 191 pounds, runs a 4.42. He is stupid fast and it shows up on tape. He had 1,000 yards from scrimmage in college over 5 years. Those came in a variety of ways. Maybe part of the reason is he played behind Bijan Robinson and Jonathan Brooks. He is sneaky good, he's shifty, he's sturdy for his size, and he's a smooth runner. However, his college production was not exactly what you want to see. I also don't love his size, and it's not a great depth chart to land on. But let's take a look at that. We got Travis Etienne Jr., Dearness Johnston, and Tank Bigsby. Etienne is 25 years old, he's in the 4th year of his rookie deal. I haven't heard yet about his 5th year option. I don't know if they plan to pay him or they're going to give him a new contract because, running backs. He had over 1,000 yards rushing last season. Johnson's 28 years old. He's only on a 1-year deal. Bigsby's 22. He was a 3rd-round pick from last year, and it was a pretty disappointing rookie season. He only had 50 carries last year, and he averaged 2.6 yards per carry. Not a great start, but I need to see more from him before I write him off. Robinson is also currently listed for kick returns behind Devin Duvernay and Parker Washington. However, I think that he has the talent to jump both, and soon. So in his rookie year, I expect he's probably going to see some limited play. Gadget plays, special teams usage, because of his size, because of the depth chart. I mean, he's never going to take snaps away from Etienne, but he could from others in the future. Right now, he is my favorite for kick return duties. I think he offers a lot more than Devin Duvernay or Parker Washington. So he has value. He shouldn't be ignored. The issue is going to be consistency for fantasy. Now, my advice, if you have the room, I would add him as a priority waiver after the draft and stash him, which is exactly the strategy I used with Keaton Mitchell last year. Indianapolis Colts. The Colts made some splashy additions early and then some wise ones after. Winners. Anthony Richardson for getting another big weapon and more help on the line. Tight ends for no new additions. Losers. Alec Pierce. Shit! In the 1st round, they took Laiatu Latu, edge out of UCLA. He's 23 years old, 6'5", tons of speed and power. He's got an RAS of 9.37. In college, he had 100 tackles, 24 sacks. He was my favorite at the position going into the draft. He was called the most skilled rusher in the draft and likened to Trey Hendrickson. What I don't like, he was briefly retired in college in 2020 after a neck injury. The depth chart here is Kwity Page, Samson Ebukam, and Dayo Adangbo. Pay's 25, he's a 1st-round pick, and he had his 5th-year option picked up. Good through 2025. Ebukam is 29, he's signed through 2025. Dayo is in the last year of his rookie deal. So Latu is expected to contribute day 1 in his rookie season. He's going to be a big addition for the line and a great complement for Pay on the other side. Latu is bound to be one of the first edges off the board in your league. In the 2nd round, they took Adonai Mitchell, wide receiver out of Texas. He's 21 years old, 6'2", 205 pounds, all the speed and burst you could want. He's got one of the highest RASs I've ever seen. In college, he had over 1,400 yards and 18 touchdowns. Steve Smith called him a top 5 receiver in this draft. Some comped him to CeeDee Lamb. NFL.com comped him to George Pickens. He's flashy, athletic, fights for the ball, gets good yards after catch. The depth chart is Michael Pittman, Josh Downs, Alec Pierce, Ashton Dolan, and Anthony Gould. Pittman's 26, he's got 3 years left on his deal with an out after 2025. Downs is 22, he was a 3rd-round pick last year. Pierce is 24, he's got 2 more years on his rookie deal. And Anthony Gould is a 5th-round rookie from this year. So Adonai Mitchell is going to be a big part of the offense moving forward, even though he's only going to be a wide receiver 2 here for now. But he has the potential to take over as a wide receiver 1 in time, maybe 2026 if Pittman moves on. But even if he doesn't, the potential is still there. Adonai Mitchell's ADP is 15th overall in standard 12-team leagues, usually near Xavier Legette and Roman Wilson. If you need some tiebreakers with that, consider the quarterbacks you'll be tied to, or the fact that Adonai Mitchell is 2 years younger than Xavier Legette. Tennessee Titans. Was the Titans roster really that strong that they could draft this boring? Winners: Will Levis. He got some help on the line and no stupid rookies to throw to. Losers: the new coach. He inherited Will Levis and few draft picks of value. In the 2nd round, they took T'Vondre Sweat, defensive tackle out of Texas. He's 22 years old, 6'5", 355 pounds. Call the man Galactus, because he is eating planets. In college, he had 127 tackles and 5 sacks in 5 years. He's got a violent club move, he eats up space, and he can collapse the pocket all on his own. The depth chart is Keandre Coburn and Quinton Bohanna. But is it? Is it really? Because it seems like T'Vondre Sweat is the starting nose tackle here yesterday, which is great, but what's that worth in fantasy? I mean, seriously, what's that worth in your league? Because in my league, not a ton. They're always getting double teamed, they don't quite get through and get tackles as much. So, good for the Titans, not someone I'm targeting in fantasy. In the 4th round, they took Cedric Gray, linebacker out of North Carolina. He's 21 years old, 6'2", 236 pounds, and he is a good athlete. In college, he had 368 tackles. Oh my God! Man was busy. 8.5 sacks and 5 interceptions. I love his film. He's got quick closing speed. He's a solid tackler, dynamic blitzer. He's tough to block. What I don't like, sometimes he runs himself out of plays. And he did have a lot of missed tackles. The depth chart is Jack Gibbons, Kenneth Murray, and Rashad Weaver. Now Gibbons is only 25 years old, but he's on a 1-year deal. Murray is 25, he's on a 2-year deal, but there is another out after this season, and neither one of them have huge contracts. Weaver's 26, he's a 4th-round pick from about 2 years ago. There is very little money or commitment to this linebacker room moving forward. 4th-round draft capital doesn't mean that much, but he is the first linebacker drafted by this new coaching regime, and the tape shows real potential. So he'll get in the mix on special teams as a rookie, but he's got the skills and athletic ability that he could be a starter moving forward next year. He's not Edgerrin Cooper or Junior Colson, so you can wait to draft him. It's a thin linebacking class though. I think he's one you should target. And that's the AFC South. We're breaking down every team by their division, so please go check out the other videos as well. And while you're at it, consider subscribing to the channel. You're looking lovely today. I could use a subscribe. Thanks for watching Shutout Football. Say hi to your mom for me. We'll see you in the next one. Peace!
Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys. It sound right, boy.
Yeehaw, bitches!